Okay.
Everybody else?
Okay, the
Everybody else
recording
is here.
just started at 3:32.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Okay. Well, I'll start with what may be the good news initially, which is kind of looking at our agenda. I don't think we need to meet in November and December.
Great.
Unless somebody just like, oh, but I really, really wanted to meet. In which case I'll be happy to set up a meeting for you and you can meet. So just to kind of give an overview of today before we start, I've given the list, which is the familiar list of some of the projects that we would like to work on. And what I'm hoping is that we can kind of go through them, and if we can get hopefully 2 people on each one, then those 2 people can kind of figure out whatever logistics may need to be taken care of so that when we meet in January, we can, as they say, hit the ground running with the projects and have people who've already done a little bit of work on them. But we can kind of figure that out as we go along with them. So the first item on the agenda is the annual report. The comments that I got back were basically that it's fine. The only thing that I discovered was because I always copy things from the previous year, at the top it boldly said FY 2021. And so fortunately I saw that, and it now boldly says FY 2022. Were there any changes that anyone wanted to make, additions to the annual report? Great, well, thank you. That makes things very, very
That's
easy.
great.
It was fun writing it because, we did a little bit more this year than last year, and that was kind of cool.
You got my comment about my name being misspelled.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Oh, actually, I didn't. It's misspelled. It's S, not an N. How did I miss? Oh, sorry.
Margolin.
Sorry, it's there's no O in it.
Oh, it's just Margolin.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, I did not read emails. I've now been outed on that. Thank you. So the ones that I have down, and there may be others, are Celebrate Shutesbury, the orienteering event, Family Field Day.
One other thing, sorry, Beezy's name, it doesn't have 2 L's in it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It doesn't?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's REILY. Okay, great. Thank you.
All my minutes are wrong forever.
Yeah. I hope I spelled my name right.
Well, let me check. I mean, her emails to me are,
Oh, I think you're right.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
See that.
All righty. Well, those changes will be made and I will get it sent in. Thank you. Does anybody want a name other than the one they're given? I aim to please here. Okay. So 2 of the ones that we have on the list aren't really very difficult. In the invasive plant and the farm visit, because we'll do those in collaboration with Marianne again. As you may know, we had, or actually Marianne did all of the work on it for the invasive plant this spring. No, we're in the fall, this fall. And then the day it was planned, the weather was really horrible. So she called and canceled it. So we'll just plan to have him come again in the spring because that was so successful. And I'm kind of assuming that we'll make the farm visit an annual event. It was very successful. She really enjoyed having people come. I'm sure she can, put the focus on slightly different things each year, assuming that there's overlap with people, but there's so much to look at, to see, to do. Plus, it's just such a nice time, everybody together. Does that sound good to everyone?
Can you remind me what time of year that was?
Yes, I can tell you the exact date. We had the farm visit on April 30th. And we had
I was going to say, it would be nice to think about doing the farm visit later, like in the middle of the summer, when all the plants are really in full bloom and you'd walk through the gardens.
That sounds wonderful. Okay. I'll talk with Marianne about switching that date and then get a hold of Zoe and get that arranged. So change.
I don't know how other people feel about that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I just kind of steamrolled there. What are other people's thoughts on that? Oh, I got a thumbs up. Thank you. And do you have any thoughts about it, or another thumbs up?
I think it's fine. My only question is that for all the people that were there last time, it seems like they did have interesting questions about how to set up their gardens.
Mm.
Mhm.
But
That's true.
We could
they
also
might
do
have- They might
two.
have great questions in the middle of the summer too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we could
Yeah.
also do two. We really can do just about anything we want.
Yeah, because it would be kind of nice to, if you're in the middle of your own garden and maybe things are doing really well or doing really poorly in your garden, to talk to her about, how she's managing certain pests and certain, whether it's drought or too much rain, that kind of thing.
Okay.
I like, Elaine, I like that. Maybe we can just jot down some notes too, for Zoe. So in the advertisement, we can say, here are possible topics.
Yeah.
So bring your questions or
Yeah,
observations.
oh, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Great. Okay. So then we will plan on having it a little bit later. I'm not much of a gardener, so what kind of, would we be looking at June, or when would we be, July? When would we be looking?
We should probably look at our calendar as to what other things are happening when, so we don't have a lot of, like 2 or 3 things in one month and nothing in another month.
Mhm.
So, I mean, when were we talking about Celebrate Shutesbury?
Well, we're gonna have to have a meeting with Mary Ann to find out about that one. I don't know what the best time of year is for that. I guess I'm kind of assuming the spring, when people are still around, possibly before school is out, but I've never done Celebrate Shutesbury, so I really have no idea.
Well, we
Of a good
usually do
time.
it in September, but I think something like, well, let's see, town meeting, we have to wait to see when town meeting is. Town meeting might be, it's now scheduled for the last weekend in April. We had changed it the year before COVID. So in 2019, we said that we were going to have town meeting the last weekend of April. But since we've had to be outside instead of inside, for the past 3 years, we've done it outside. We probably are not going to have it the last week of April. So, and I'm saying that because I'm thinking that Celebrate Shutesbury should be somewhere in May.
Yeah, I was thinking something like that.
Yeah,
Spring.
so
Yeah,
Celebrate
Christine, you
Shutesbury-
were, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if Celebrate Shutesbury is in May, then maybe the farm visit could be June,
Mhm.
or Family Field Day.
Family
We
Field
should do
Day is
Family
June.
Field Day in June when the kids are still
Now,
in
we did
school.
that on June 11th.
Right. Because
We had
otherwise,
things 2 weeks in a row, and we had no problem with it because they were sufficiently different. They were drawing on different people, the invasive plant and the farm visit.
Mhm.
So I don't think it's really an awful thing to have. I mean, things are going to be kind of cramped in there anyway, because everything's going to be in the spring at this point. Our fall activity, which was the invasive plant, didn't happen. So maybe we just need to sit down with a calendar and kind of get some suggestions about that before our next meeting. I don't think we have any urgency if we're meeting in January.
Yeah.
And I would leave a lot of the decision about when the Celebrate Shutesbury would be to Mary Ann,
Yeah.
because she's going to be the primary mover on
Mhm.
that one.
I would like to tag the date for Family Field Day.
Yeah.
Right around that same weekend that we
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah, that's easy. I figured we would, that whatever that comparable
It's like
date
the
is.
week before school is out.
Yeah.
So whenever that is.
Yeah. So I'll look at a calendar and figure out what that is. And Christine, I'm so sorry, you had wanted to say something.
It was just reiterating what Elaine was saying about when Shutesbury, the celebration of Shutesbury used to be in September. That's all.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's, for all I know, she may say, well, let's wait until next fall, but my guess is we'll be moving ahead in the spring. We'll see. Now for Celebrate Shutesbury, I'm on board for that. Elaine, are you still on board for working on that one?
Sure.
Okay. What I would suggest at this point, unless somebody else is really burning to be part of the meetings, that Elaine and I meet with Marianne, get a date figured out. We already have a list of all of the things that are going to need to be done, and that we then bring that to a future meeting, and other people can kind of jump on where they feel they would most like to help. Yeah, Anne?
As someone who's never participated in Celebrate Shutesbury, can someone just give an overview of like what it is? Elaine, why are you laughing?
I've only been
Go
to
ahead,
one.
Christine. Christine,
Yeah.
you do it.
Tell it. Christine represented us last time.
What?
Pardon?
Yeah.
So I have a question. Where's this list of what we're supposed to be doing? Because again, like, who's dumping all this stuff on us? I'm gonna be
No one's
honest,
dumping,
like,
okay, that's a good point. No one's dumping anything. But what we had agreed once before is that is if there were two people who are willing to take the load on something, then we would consider doing it. And then we would present to the rest of the committee some of the things that need to be done. And if people feel like doing them, great. And if not, that's fine too. So no one's dumping anything. We're going to be really careful about that, because otherwise this will be the committee that will be shunned by all.
But you know
well,
what?
no, sir, I'm only kidding.
Christine,
There's a lot of like day of activities. And so, we're hoping that if people on the committee are planning on going, that some of those tasks might be, we could share those, but there's no requirement that because we pick an activity that everybody has to be engaged and involved in it.
I think one of the things was, though, Christine, to answer your point of where this list come from and what we're talking about, we had talked about Celebrate Shutesbury was going to be the last Saturday in September last year. And all of a sudden, Marianne and Barbara and I were saying, well, the rec committee and the library was going to put it together, because Jessica Carlson Bollinger, is that how you say her name?
Belanger.
She decided that she wasn't doing it anymore, and the PTO hadn't stepped up. So I was kind of panicking, like the first week of September, that we didn't have anything done. So on a walk, Barbara and I were making a list of what we needed to do, and all the different things, get this committee, find that committee, find, where we were going to put up the tents, what we were going to do. And luckily we had Beezy on a walk with us, and she told us we were crazy, that we could not do this in 3 weeks, and that, it was just way out of line. And so that's when we stepped back and said to Marianne, hey, Marianne, this is crazy to try to do in 3 weeks. And she agreed. So that was how we started the quote list.
Yeah, Christine?
So I know not everything, but I know of the dynamics in regard to, yes, there's many separate units, and Jessica, yes, she was the spearhead. So again, is there a way she could give us a list, or Marianne's got a list? Why do we have to recreate a wheel?
Okay,
And I don't mind participating, but I'm not going to take on like this whole, like, whatever. I don't know what you guys think.
You don't have to take on anything. And I actually would like to back up from what Elaine said. I met with Marianne, and we still have to get back to Anne's question about what actually happened to Celebrate Shutesbury Day. Marianne and I met, and we made a laundry list. Mainly she was making the laundry list. I've never done Celebrate Shutesbury. I'd only gone to it once, and I hung out at the alpacas. So, I really don't know much about it at all. So she was saying all these different things that typically were done at Celebrate Shutesbury Day. Nobody has to do anything. I mean, I think this was, again, going back to a discussion we had a few months ago, that we do not take on anything unless there's at least a couple people who are willing to do the work. But we're not committing the whole committee to, writing the letters and doing all the work. That's not what we're doing. So you don't need to worry that all of a sudden I'm going to come and say, okay, we all have to do these things. That's not going to happen. What we will do, and what Mary Ann and I started to do, and the reason it never came to the committee was because we then decided not to do it. So there was never any point in bringing it to the committee to look at a list of things for something we weren't going to do. But there were some things that would just be like showing up and helping people get set up. There's the organizing stuff. And quite frankly, I think, 2 people is probably going to be plenty, because it's just a matter of writing emails to people, figuring out what the activities are. Mary Ann's going to be doing a lot of that. So this committee is not being saddled with a whole pile of responsibilities because of this. Like I said, hopefully some of the day of things people will be willing to do, because if you're going to be there anyway, then, why not schmooze around a little bit and help people get their table set up. But there's not going to be a requirement that anybody participate in any capacity more than they're willing to, given time and interest. So is that good? Yeah, because I really understand that would be like, oh my goodness, what is Barbara getting us into? I don't think I'm not getting anybody into anything they don't want to do. So could someone who's been to Celebrate Shutesbury describe what it is for those of us who aren't as familiar? Christine, thank you.
No, Elaine's better at it than me.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Celebrate Shutesbury. We could do there are a number of different things. First, there's music. There's always, groups or dancers or stuff that are playing. There's often a bounce castle for kids. There's who is it? It
Face
was
painting.
the select board the last time I was doing it. We had a donut hanging contest where, you hang donuts all around our tent, and people try to bite the donuts off without using their hands. And there's always a contest between the police chief and the fire chief to see who's better at it. Ron Berger often brings his what's it called, the gun, his speed gun, and so kids can throw baseballs, and you can see how fast you can throw a baseball. And then the big thing that and then there's a tag sale type book sale, used book sale. But the big thing that it's not really the big thing for the kids and everything. The big thing is that all the different committees across town can have a table and try to attract people to what their committee is, who their committee is, and how you could join. And for instance, like the recycling committee has a little 12 questions of, is this recyclable or is this not recyclable? And it's a little game that they put out to see if if things are recyclable. And it's just the fire truck comes, the police come. Did I miss anything? Food, there's food.
Mm-hmm. Christine?
The church, I
church.
believe, is where the food comes from. They have like a bake sale also to have people come in and do a little tour of their church. There's musicians that come over by the church on the grass. There's face painting for kids.
Yep.
I'm trying to visualize the whole green, but it's awesome. And especially for people that are new to Shutesbury, it's a time to connect with people and get to know our town hall and all the committees and stuff.
In fact, one of the things I was going to do was to hit up Tom, Ann's husband, as a potential musician. But it'd be nice to keep it local to musicians in Shutesbury. But we'll have 3, what Mary Ann says, probably schedule 3 different acts. Another thing that that, you know, we've been talking about doing, and this might be a great place to do it, would be a bicycle workshop. You know, reach out. So any ideas that we might have like that, you know, we can just, you know, make a list of them and see if we can find people who'd be willing to do it. But that would be a great time to do the bicycle workshop. So, you know, just some of those ideas that we've had that maybe we can't plan to do as a completely separate activity, we could do as part of this.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so at this point, probably the best thing in terms of the next step would be for Elaine and me to get in touch with Mary Ann and talk about dates. And because we are doing things in collaboration with the library, particularly the invasive plant and the farm visit and probably the orienteering, we can talk about dates for all of those things. Okay, so Celebrate Shutesbury, Elaine and I will kind of be the primary people on that one in getting that started. And like I said, we'll bring a list, but the list doesn't mean this is what we as a committee are doing. The list means, oh, look at that. I'd like to do that. I'd love to find musicians, or, oh, I'd like to do that. It's not a, you got to do this kind of a thing. Now the orienteering keeps rearing its head. And the last time I talked to the guy whose name I'm now forgetting because it's been so long, he said it would be possible to do something much smaller. So what I just don't know the different trails in Shutesbury that well. But the easiest thing for us to do is to find some trails in Shutesbury, because then the process of getting approvals is going to be a whole lot easier. At Wyola, it was going to be 3 different entities, the state, Wendell, and then a private camp. And much to my surprise, when I brought it up with the guy, because I figured, well, they must get permissions all the time, getting the permissions was really falling on me. And I don't know how to do it. I don't know who to talk to. I've never gotten permissions to do an orienteering event. So I just kind of was like, I can't, this is too much. But also we're just doing a little beginner thing. So all we need is a little network of trails. We don't need a great big huge network of trails. And so I don't know if somebody would be willing to, like, over the next couple of months, just explore some of the trails around in Shutesbury.
And what about the trails behind your house?
Who owns that land? I don't know who owns the land. That's the problem.
What about the new one? Why am I forgetting the name? Barbara, where you and I went?
Okay, the problem with that, well, the pond.
Yeah.
Well, it may be that the trails are more intricate than I thought, but it just looks like it goes around in a circle. And he said that's not really, you got to have at least some decision points and things. And
what about our new property that the Kestrel Trust just purchased?
Are there trails on that?
I think so.
Okay, well, why not, would you be willing, or somebody else want to just do some clambering around in the woods? I'm kind of looking at you, Elaine, again, although I'm certainly happy to have anybody do it, because I think you do more clambering about in the woods and know the trails around here probably better than, certainly a lot better than I do.
BJ Tomlinson is really good at, excuse me, at trails. Yeah, let me ask her. She does a lot of what?
Yeah.
So Barbara, you need trails that are completely owned by Shutesbury and that have some like spurs or options where people make decisions. Are there other criteria?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Yeah, Christine?
Christine and I, we did some looking into trail orienteering, etc. Christine, do you remember? I know, was it May? Puckle May was one of the people, but Beezy, she knows a lot of the people around here with all that information, including her.
Oh, the trails around her place.
Who owns them?
It's town, it's Amherst Town Water.
Yep.
Like, I know, because like you can't walk your dog there, as I discovered walking my, I mean, there's signs saying not to. Yeah, I don't know why the dog can't walk there, deer are walking there, whatever. But, no, I'm positive,
I never thought of that. You're right.
you know. But anyway, people, what do you call it? Ski, cross-country ski there.
Snowshoe.
Oh, and it's nice. It's really nice, but it is Amherst Town Water Supply. That's all I know.
These are the trails that go past BZ's house are, they were talking about, yeah.
They start right past her house.
Mhm. Right, okay. And then I've walked on those. It seems to be pretty much an out and back trail though.
I think
true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we need a little network, think spider web.
Mhm.
We could see if Cinda Jones wanted to do some
That's a nice idea.
community reparations kind of thing, because she has lots of property.
That's a
And
nice
she
idea.
wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
There's lots of
Okay.
trails.
yeah.
Anybody know Cinda?
I don't, but I would be happy to meet with her and talk to her about it. I'm kind of a
You're new
neutral
to the-
party as
you're
far
new
as
to
she's
the town.
concerned.
You're new to
What?
town. You're new
I'm new to
so
town.
you
I have no
wouldn't,
history. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Okay, I'll do that. And then meanwhile, over the next couple of months, when all of us, how about if we make this an everybody thing? Which is just if you happen to be out walking on trails and you're
Mhm.
pretty sure that wherever they are, there's only one owner, preferably Shutesbury, just send me a text saying you might want to go walk at such and such a place, or even better, say, do you want to come with me and walk? And I will enjoy some walks with each of you. Okay. So
Mhm.
that takes care of the orienteering. The farm does it, the Celebrate Shutesbury Family Field Day. That was, I mean, I didn't do a lot of the work. I think Elaine and Christine, you two were the kind of the,
Oh, it was
yeoman's on this one.
definitely Steve and
it
Kara
was
that did the
definitely
work.
Steve,
As long
right?
as
But in
he's
terms,
there, we've got it covered.
okay, then I say, and the other, oh, and so there's, okay, so we're good with that one then.
Mhm.
Do you
Okay.
someone need someone to work on the farm visit? I'm happy to do that if you do.
I'm good with that because she just lives up the road and I'm talking with her about wood chips these days. So I'm having some trees taken down. Christine?
Elaine, are you and I working on that the field day at the school
Sure.
together?
Sure.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, as I recall with that, it's a matter of meeting with Steve and then maybe and getting some, I thought it really worked great with the high school kids. It was really a wonderful thing to do. Now, some of the other things that are on our list, and Christine R., I hope you're going to like this one. I'm really keen on the idea of the pole dancing, but I think you and I have to go to a pole dancing class. Well, you brought this up and I'm like carrying the torch for you, okay?
Do it.
So how about if I were to find a pole dancing class, would you come with me? I mean, we can all go.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I would
all
go.
right. Okay, I will find the class. We will go, we'll get the contact and find out what would it entail to do a pole dancing class here in Shutesbury.
I love it.
That will
I
be our
love it.
research. Okay, I thought you might.
Elaine. You gotta mess with people.
I think that visit needs to be recorded.
Yes. You need to,
I'll come
you
along
need to
and
take
record.
a recording of what you're looking like so that you don't have to give us
No.
a description. You can just show us.
Yes. Show not tell, Elaine.
Oh
What?
my God.
Yeah,
I'll film it.
but I think
I
something
think
like that,
it's going to be really hard. I think pole dancing is very difficult.
Upper body strength. You need some
Yeah.
upper
Oh, yeah.
body strength.
But you also need poles, right?
yes,
We
Oh,
don't,
the fire station. We can go to the fire station.
Do they
that's a
have
great
schools?
idea.
Look it up.
Great idea. I love it. Okay, we're on this winter. So that'll be one of our first, so send that time between now and our next meeting in January. As many of you who want to join Christine and me at a pole dancing class, we'll let you know. One of my daughter's friends actually has done a lot of pole dancing and did a lot of training here in the area. So I will find out from her where she went. And then, that gives us a little in, especially if there's a pole at the fire station.
I think
I love that.
everybody has to have a pole, don't they?
I don't know how
It's
it
gotta
works.
be like
I've
bringing
never
your
done
yoga
this.
mat.
Okay,
Like,
the only thing I know
cool.
about pole dancing is like pole dancing in strip clubs.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm not going there. I'm not going
We're not,
there.
no, we're not
will.
going to strip. I think.
No, they have attire. They have appropriate attire. You don't have to wear little, what are they, tinsels on your nipples or whatever the hell.
Pasty.
Tassels.
Yeah.
Are you getting this all down for the minutes, Christine?
Team will be feathers and tassels. And absolutely.
This will be Christine's test to see if we really read minutes.
That's right. Oh dear. Speaking of which, you know what I forgot to do at the beginning of the meeting is get the previous minutes approved. Is there any discussion about them? Okay, and all those in favor, just thumbs up. All right, they have been unanimously approved. I apologize for that. The other event, which is doing a Frisbee, an ultra, what was it? This was your idea, Elaine, about
Ultimate.
having ultimate game or teaching, or what are we going to do with it?
Well,
What was
you know
your
how
vision?
we have the high school kids do at the field day?
Mhm.
I think it would be pretty cool to have either the high school or the middle school team, ultimate team, come do one of their practices up here in town and invite, and do refreshments for them and
Mhm.
invite the kids to come buy a bunch of Frisbees. And this would be for elementary school kids, buy a bunch of Frisbees, but that might, maybe that would work into field day.
Okay, that would be great. That would be fun
We
thing
could
to
think
do with
about
field
that, see
day.
if that would work
Yeah.
in field day.
Okay. Yeah, the one thing to consider though with the field day is that Stephen's things really took up almost all the time.
Yeah.
And
it
I
could be
remember,
in the afternoon.
Okay.
The
great.
kids
Longer.
could bring their lunch, and then the kids didn't want to leave.
That's true. Yeah.
And we could do
Mhm.
like morning would be the field day-ish, afternoon could be ultimate on
Okay.
that same field, and kids could bring their lunch, have a picnic lunch, that kind of thing.
That sounds great.
And kids could come or go to either portion.
Mhm. Okay, so that's another one that we will, and I think folding that in with field day does make a lot of sense, because otherwise we are have an awful lot of events
Yeah.
that we'd be trying to do. Anne, are there any events that or things that you would really like the committee to be sponsoring?
Me personally?
Yeah, because I was just thinking we've got, and then Christine, I'm going to ask you, we've got our pole dancing, we've got our Frisbee, we've got our orienteering. I just wondered whether there's things that you think about, boy, that would be a cool thing for us to do.
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay.
I mean, I do. I will say that I really thought the field day was great, and I don't know how many simultaneous events can happen. I do have a selfish interest in having competitive jump roping, or
Ooh.
like people who do really interesting
Yeah.
jump roping, just because I find it fascinating. But I wonder just about that, like not to overwhelm field day, but adding something like that.
That's a very
Mhm.
cool idea. I'm sure there must be a competitive team around somewhere. who would be willing to
There's-
come and do
there's-
demonstrations.
There's so much that we could do for field day. I mean, it could be really big because, you know, when you said competitive jump roping, you know, we could also get, there's competitive race walkers in the area. And that would be really cool to learn how to power walk, race walk, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Maybe we could invite your neighbor, Barbara, who runs backwards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. My goal in life was always to run as fast as forward as he does backwards. Yeah. Yeah.
So we
I
could, I
think,
mean, field day could be
yeah,
all day.
that's
It
right.
could be a big thing.
Yeah. And
'Cause
we
we
have
only
enough
have
time
field
to
morning.
really advertise it way in advance. So, and get things lined up. That's great. Okay. So should we just do the pole dancing on field day too?
Yeah.
Put it up in the gym.
Pole- The competitive pole dancing.
So Christine, are there particular things that you've been thinking of that you would really like us to do?
No, in some way, I'm interested in, you know, the trail walking,
Mm.
like whether that's the orienteering or I don't know. I just that was the only thing I'd really sorry, kind of been thinking of other than we already have here. Yeah, but I think that orienteering would probably be, I mean, that's what we're starting with that, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you for saying that. Mhm. Because that's something that we've certainly talked about in the past of just, is there a way to, you know, sponsor a walk once a month or every other week or whatever, something like that would be a nice thing to do. So that it's just, and there wouldn't need a lot of planning. And if we did it again in collaboration with the library, between her advertising and whatever we do, we could get, because each one of us could just say, oh, I'd like to take a walk in such and such place. And then that can be the sponsored walk.
I
So-
still have been to Ames Pond. Isn't that the one where the guy left the land and has the sculptures and stuff? When is that going to be made? Do you have a sense of when that's the trails? No.
No, I mean, it's ready now, but I don't know when they'll have the trail improvements done.
Okay.
I don't know what their timing is like on that. I could reach out, actually, I could just reach out to Chris Valenti and ask.
hmm
Okay, so there was something else that I was gonna say, and I can't think
There was
what it
one
was
other-
right now. Yeah,
There's one other thing that Christine was into last year and we didn't do it in time, and that was the ice skate. Purchasing ice
Mhm.
skates and stuff. Christine, what do you think of that?
I can call Gateway and see where he stands, because I know last year he was wiped out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can call him and see what's
Okay.
up with that.
yeah, and to get a sense of how much, because my memory was that the skates weren't really all that cheap. And it was gonna pretty much use up a lot of our budget.
Well, when they're little kids, like who we're gonna focus on is elementary, it's
Mhm,
not as expensive as they progress with their foot
right,
changing, getting towards adult
Mhm.
size. Yes, it can be more expensive,
Yeah.
but he's got a good like in the past had good selections on used little
Okay,
kid
great.
skates, which were reasonable.
Mhm. Good.
Another thing I thought about is bikes. If we're gonna do a bike clinic, there's kids or people that do tricks on their bikes.
Mm,
I don't know if anybody knows anybody that does that stuff.
no, but we could probably find somebody.
Christine, do you need a special kind of surface for that? Like the way you do with skateboarding or roller skating or any of that?
I don't know anything about it. It was just a thought when you guys said something about having a bike clinic and then talking about the jump roping and other things that, yeah, these are all like really cool things.
Right.
Mhm. Does anybody know anyone who's got high school age kids? Because I know a lot of, when I think of that, do you? Because maybe just, oh, of course you do. Yeah. Maybe they can give you some suggestions of people. They may know people who do that.
Yeah, I'll
And
talk
we
to
don't need to
Jay.
have people who are like super like expert at it. It's just doing some of the simple kind of wheelie things and
Okay.
yeah, stuff like
Cool.
that. Great. So I guess we're then pretty much all set. If anybody wants to end up taking a walk over at Ames Pond, I'm having some knee surgery, minor. So I won't be doing a whole heck of a lot of walking in December, early January. But if anybody, plans to or wants to take a walk at Ames Pond, maybe just send an email out to the group, see who might like to go.
Yeah.
Great,
That would be cool.
Yeah.
good. Is there any major thing that I'm missing here? Or have I pretty much covered what needs to be covered?
Barbara, did you get we are doing the invasive plants workshop in the spring. Yeah, Mary Ann's the one that we canceled.
Mhm. Yes, we'll do that. Yeah, absolutely, we'll do that. I mean, what it looks like going forward is that'll be kind of a regular thing. We're going to become real experts in Shutesbury on invasive plants. But he was really good and he's interested in coming back. And so, we can keep inviting him as long as there's interest. Okay. All right, then I guess we are we need to move it to adjourn.
We need to actually schedule our January meeting or say
Oh,
we don't want.
should we just say we've had the last Thursday of the month at
Okay.
3:30? Does that continue to be a good time for people?
Let's see.
Yeah, okay. Yep, so that'll be that last Thursday in January.
Is it possible for people to do three? I had a change in something I do. Is it possible to do 3 o'clock, or does that not work for some people?
Works for me.
Sure.
And you're looking dubious?
It's a bit, I have a meeting that ends at 3, so I'd be a couple minutes late.
Could we make it split the difference and make it 3:15? Would that make it easier for you, Christine, or is that still?
Well, I have a thing that now happens at 4. It used to happen at
Okay.
30. Fine. But we can just keep it. It's all right. It's so hard to find a time every.
No, wait, well, wait a second. We moved it to this time because of a tutoring thing you were doing, Elaine. Are you still doing that? The
Not
tutoring?
on a regular basis, no.
Because I think, what was their original time? It was on a Wednesday, wasn't it?
No, Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Tuesdays?
Tuesday.
Mhm.
I mean, I can also just
Maybe
go
it was
back.
Wednesday. Maybe it was Wednesday.
I just don't remember. I'd have to go back to an old appointment
I
book.
thought it was Tuesday. I don't know why.
Well, does Tuesday or Wednesday work for people at 4, whatever time? Because I could schedule around that.
Yeah, Wednesday
Tuesday
at
would
4
be
is a little
better.
hard for me. It would be
Yeah.
easier if it was a bit later. I have a
Tuesday
Actually,
would
Wednesday
better.
afternoons really aren't good at this point. I should just say that. So, but Tuesdays are fine.
Yep.
Tuesdays at 4, Christine and Anne, does that work for you?
All right.
Okay. So that would be then January 31st.
Mhm. Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's 5 weeks, no?
Hmm?
Does it matter?
I don't know.
It's what? Oh, 5 is, we've just been sticking with the last Thursday as opposed to the 4th Thursday.
Okay, so we're doing January 31st at 4.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, I won't be here, but that's okay.
But that's just a one-time thing. You're not here?
Yes. I'll be
Okay.
in
Will you be
Norway.
somewhere warm and sunny?
I'll be in Norway.
Oh,
That's not warm and sunny.
Mm-mm.
might be sunny.
It's gonna be beautiful.
No, it's
Yeah.
not sunny at all.
Oh,
No,
really? Yeah,
that's
there's no
right.
light in
God.
Norway in,
Oh, that's
in
right.
January.
You're just going to catch up on some sleep. Yeah, Christine,
How about January 23rd? That's the fourth
do the fourth.
Tuesday.
Fine with me. We can just
24.
say, we can just say we do it on the fourth
Okay, so
Tuesday
is,
of the month. Does that
Okay,
work
so-
for you, Elaine? Are you in
I
Norway?
still won't be. I won't be here.
Oh, okay,
That's okay.
okay.
so wait, are we doing,
4 o'clock your time would be 10 o'clock my time. 10
Yeah,
o'clock
it would
at
be,
night.
in-
So I
yeah.
might pop in. I might
Okay.
pop in. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll have an internet at my
Mhm.
place.
so is this the 24th or the 31st that we're doing?
What we've been doing is the last whatever of the month, which means sometimes it's the fourth and sometimes it's the fifth. Does anyone have strong feelings about whether we keep it like that or we just say it's the fourth? Then let's keep it the last one of the month.
Okay.
Keep with our tradition.
So which one are we doing? The 31st?
The 31st.
At what time?
4 p.m. 4 to
Thank you.
5.
Okay,
All righty.
okay. I'll send out the minutes
Thank you very much.
and
Wonder
the,
what happened to BC?
I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll just tell her we signed her up for everything.
Pole dancing.
Well, as soon as I get off, I'm looking up the pole dancing. I'm gonna send a text to my daughter's friend and ask her where she went. That'll be a good starting spot. And
Let
then
me
Christine and I
know.
are gonna get really buff from pole dancing.
Let me know. Let me
Oh,
know
I
what you
will.
find out.
I will send you the information. We'll pick at that time and then let everybody know and see who can join us. Introductory, I mean, they must have an introductory pole dancing class. Anyway, I'll call and talk to them. So, great.
Pole dancing 101.
okay, so meeting is being adjourned at what time?
It is
4:19.
4:19.
Okay,
So you should stop the recording.
Yep, I have my little